Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Week in History. I'm Alexandra Schneider. Thank you so much for joining me. This week in 1935, Lake Forest Mayor Francis Meniere was cracking down hard on local gambling devices. Every tavern proprietor in the area was warned that if evidence of gambling devices was found, they could be fined and lose their beer license. Of special concern were devices that could encourage gambling by minors. Horse racing games or duck shooting games, for instance, qualified since they paid these underage winners automatically instead of giving control to the store owners to determine who could play and what they could win. One local store owner bet that he could get away with having one of these games and lost. He was fined $5 for violating the city's ordinance. And in 1937, well-known and well-remembered Lake Forester Dr. Theodore Proxmire was named the first chairman of the county's new Sanitarium board. The main purpose of the board was to find a location for the community's new sanitarium, which was to be made possible financially by a 15-cent tax levy that had been approved by Lake Foresters the year before. Other board members included James Stiles of Lake Bluff and Victor Wartz of Waukegan. And finally, for those of you who follow us on social media, you may recall that you got to have a great behind-the-scenes look at several photographs in our June in Bloom feature, highlighting some special gardens in the Lake Forest and Lake Bluff area. Well, in 1944, the Lake Bluff Garden Club also garnered a special behind-the-scenes invitation to the gardens of Mrs. Albert Farwell, complete with picnic luncheon. During the tour of her gardens, Mrs. Farwell really highlighted her herbs and their many uses, such as garnishes for food, medicinal remedies, and perfumes. Her garden spaces were reported to be highly organized by design, theme, and function. They included a salad garden, a cooking herb garden, a garden based on scent only, a plot modeled after a 16th century medieval garden, gardens that featured herbs named in the Bible, and one that also featured herbs named in Shakespeare. Speaking of her herb garden, Mrs. Farwell stated, quote, "It is a garden of peace and of sweet scents, filled with all the humble, lovable old plants one rarely sees, and which never really look happy in company with the showy modern plants. The little gate is always on the latch, and visitors are always welcome." End quote. And there you have it. That's This Week in History. Thank you so much for joining me, and be sure to check out the History Center website for more great content.